Ooh, that's right, I got me some sunglasses. Ran a poll on Twitter for the past week, and I said, how's part of an original story sound for this weekend? And it was only 3 votes, but yes was the winner. So, let me get to the right page here. I'm going to read you the first 2 chapters because the first chapter itself is kind of short. The Chronicles of Xavier Stowe. Chapter 1. I wasn't always like this. I used to be a pretty nice guy. But one day, my life changed. Drastically. I wanted to be a professional MMA fighter. I had already started training when it happened. And I was there to see it too. I was hanging out with my parents one day. We'd just gotten done seeing a movie and were on our way home when my dad looked out his driver's side mirror. His eyes widened. "Honey, they found us," he whispered to my mom, who grew pale with fear. I had no idea who they were at the time, but it's their fault that I am who I am, and I will stop at nothing until I exact some justice. Chapter 2. My parents died when I was 15, so I had to live for 3 years with a foster family. I hated it there. I had to stop training professionally because they couldn't afford to pay the MMA gym membership, which is ridiculous since it was only $15 a month. But I guess it's not. But I guess not that ridiculous due to the other 6 foster children, and to the fact that only one of the parents was actually sober long enough to actually work. The other was just a fat, abusive, drunk bitch. The only thing that kept me from running away was one of my younger foster siblings, my little bro Ben. He was defenseless toward the other 4 kids' torment until to the other 5 kids' torment, till I showed up and stood up for him. The day I was brought in, the mom, Sheila, who was of course drunk, said to go out back, introduce myself, and play. The rest of them were out there ganging up on Ben, not because he was the youngest, but because Sheila was too drunk to care. Not that that mattered, though. I asked them why they were wailing on him. The oldest one, Rex, said, "What's it to you, noob?" I said, "For your information, my name's not Noob, it's Alex," which was my name back then. And I just don't think 5-on-1 is much of a fair fight. Call me old-fashioned. Well, for your information, I'm in charge here, and I say your name is Noob. Now why don't you just mind your own damn business? And he shoved me. Hard. I grabbed him by his neck and said, "Big mistake, asshole." He swung at me and I blocked, grabbing his right arm, kicking him in the gut, making him bend over. I stepped over his arm, still holding it with my right hand, and kicking him hard in the face, breaking his nose and knocking him out cold with my left foot. Then, as casual as can be, I said, Anybody want dibs on the next ass kicking?" Nobody stepped up. Fine. Oh, and just so y'all know, anybody else who wants to pick on him, I pointed to Ben, has to answer to me now. They all walked away. I extended a helping hand to Ben, who took it tentatively. "Thank you," he said. "No prob," I replied. "How did you do that? It was just so fast." 6 months of MMA training. "Wow. Hey, do you think you could teach me?" he asked. "Maybe sometime." "I'm Ben, by the way," he said, extending his hand. I grabbed it. "Alex, nice to meet you." Alright, let's do chapter 3, too. I hate making purchases with a card, even under my old name. It lets the government know where to find you. Ben, though, he doesn't mind. I'm in his garage right now, training myself with the stand-up punching bag Ben got me for Christmas, working on my combos. Lightning fast, right, left, gut roundhouse, high right knee. Good for a break, X? Ben came in from the house with a couple of beers. Ben came out in from the house with a couple of beers. He handed me one. How long have we known each other, bro? 10 years? Why? So it's also been 10 years since the accident, he asked. I knew what he was talking about. And my parents' deaths. I knew he was asking about my parents' deaths. You know I don't like talking about it, Ben. You should tell me sometime, dude. I mean, we've been brothers for 10 years, and I don't even know how your parents died, X. He's right. Brothers should know everything about each other, especially if they're as close as we were. It was no accident, first of all. It was murder. Chapter 4. We had just finished watching a movie at the theater and were on our way home. I said. When my dad looked in his side view mirror, his eyes grew wide. Honey, they found us, he said, and he whispered to my mother. Her face grew pale with fear. Floor it now. My mom was terrified. My head hit the headrest so hard I thought I bent it. I asked, what's happening? Who's they? But nobody told me anything. Hello? My dad shouted, just shut up and get low. I did as I was told. My dad cut a hard right down a narrow alleyway, knocking metal trash cans and curbside dumpsters over, trying to lose the black Escalade behind us, to no avail. A gun popped out of the driver's side window and shot out the back windshield of our Fusion, the glass shattering and grazing my left ear. Another shot took out the back tire, causing my dad to careen into a regular alley dumpster. I had to pause for a bit. The sad, life-changing part was coming up. The people chasing us stopped and got out, wearing suits and sunglasses. In my dazed condition, I thought they were the men in black. They pulled my parents out of the car, unconscious. That's all I saw before I passed out. But before I was fully out, I heard 2 gunshots. When I came back to, I saw 2 separate pools of blood. Dude, I'm so sorry, said Ben. So that's what brought us together? I nodded. And after that, as you already know, when I turned 18, we took off. I went off the governmental grid, and I revamped and became Xavier Stone. And you didn't see anything else before we passed out? Asked Ben. Nothing but the side of the shooter's car, but I was too out of it to decipher what it said. Oh, replied Ben, and he left it at that. Alright, Wild Cucks, that's the story time for now. Leave a comment down below saying if you like the story and you want to hear more. Leave a like and subscribe and stay wild, my friends.